All right, welcome everyone. It is Learning Chromebooks. It is the 23rd of June, and we have 31 people in the audience today. Thank you for coming. As you know, this is a monthly production Hewie and I put on. We've been doing this now for about 2 years. We have a little bit of a different format for you today. We have some prepared stuff for you, and then we want to ask you some questions. So it's going to be sort of a two-part show today. Hewie, are you with us there? Unmute yourself.
That would help, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Say hello.
Hello, 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 hello.
All right. So we are, so we'll have plenty of time for Q&A later. So I think what we'll do is we will move into the show. I'll manage admitting the people who do you want to, you were going to start with one of your, we have 3 presentations for you today. Do you want to start with one of yours?
Yeah, this is a feature of the of Chromebooks that I really like, and I think it's probably underused by most of us. Excuse me. Let me get to advanced video. I don't want to do that. And well, let's play it. Then I do want to add a comment or two at the end, but let me go ahead and full screen this and start it. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Add another user to your Chromebook. I'm Hewie Poplock. Chromebooks are often bought as laptops for families to be shared between parents and kids or passed around among friends. And because a Chromebook may have more than one user, it needs to have more than one login so that each user has access to their own personal apps and content. I sometimes loan my Chromebook to a friend to help them decide whether to purchase a Chromebook or not. Adding a new user to a Chromebook is not difficult. Here's how to do it. Click on the button in the lower right corner, the one that shows the time, battery life, and so on. Then click on Sign Out at the top of the pop-up window. You'll be brought back to the sign-in screen. At the bottom left of the screen, click on the button labeled Add Person. Here's the left corner up close. You'll be asked whether you want to add an adult, assuming you're an adult, or a child. Make a selection and then click on the Next button. Have the new user sign in using their Google account, or they can create a new account if they don't already have one. They'll need to know their password. Then there will be a series of questions. The first asks to sync your Chromebook apps, settings, and more. Also to sync your Chrome browser, bookmarks, history, and other Google services. Accept and continue. Of course, there is the usual TOS, or Terms of Service. There is a checkbox on that page that allows all of your data to be backed up to Google Drive. If you don't want that to happen, uncheck the box. You'll also be asked if you want to allow the system to use your location. You can uncheck that box as well. And if you want to review your Google Play options after setup, click More, then Accept. You'll also get a chance to use Google Assistant with the Chromebook. You may agree here for the spoken command. You're all set. You now have 2 separate accounts. Both accounts in the test belong to me, but you can add anyone you want. And you're done. You're now in the second account. This is the default screen. Let's open the Files app. When you do, you'll see the files on the Chromebook for this account only. Any files on the optional SD card will be visible by both accounts. The safest thing to do is to keep your account separate and just go back to the lock screen when somebody else wants to use the Chromebook. Click on the clock in the lower right corner to bring up the Quick Settings menu. Click on the Sign Out button. Then you'll be taken back to the lock screen where you can sign in to the other account. To remove the second account, third should you have one, click the down arrow next to the username. You will get this dialog box. Click on Remove Account. You are reminded that everything associated with that account, including files and local data, will be deleted. If that's okay, click on Remove Account. Immediately, that account and all of its files are removed. You are brought back to the main sign-in screen. If you want to allow somebody to use your Chromebook just for a few hours, it's probably easier to simply have them sign in as a guest. Sign out of your account so that you are back to the sign-on screen. Click on the Browse as Guest button in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. When you're in guest mode, you can browse, use Bluetooth, adjust the font size, and more, but you can't save anything to the computer. When you're done, according to Google, your files, cookies, website data, and browsing activity will be automatically deleted. Clicking on the Everything or Search button gets you this screen. What's available in the guest account? You can open a website by typing in the URL in the address bar. To exit guest mode, click on the Time button in the lower right corner of the screen. Then click on the Exit Guest. You're back to the logon screen. That's how to add another user on your Chromebook. I'm Hewie Poplock. I have found that using the add person, I could go to one of my neighbors, have him sign in to his Gmail account, and he can't get to my files at all, and I just leave him my Chromebook to play with for a few days. When I go back to retrieve my Chromebook from him, we just remove the account, and all his files and connections to all of his stuff is all gone. And it works fine on a machine that has 4 gigabytes of RAM and a minimum amount of storage space. So it's really convenient and nice to use, especially if you got kids or grandkids that come to visit you and you want to let them use your computer, but you don't want them to get into your stuff or get to any of your emails and so on. Just create a temporary account on that computer for them using their Gmail account. If they don't have one, you can always create a Gmail account. Ron, over to you.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Huey. Good info. And yes, when your grandkids come over, give them your Chromebook. You don't want them on your Windows 10 PC or 11 or whatever, if you're using that. All right, let's talk about Chrome OS 102. Of course, we are up to 102. 103 now, if you're using the Chrome browser on a Windows machine, we're in version Chrome 103. But for Chrome OS, which of course is powering your Chromebooks, since we talked last, we have moved from 101 to 102. So you're probably wondering what changes occurred, and let's talk about those changes right now. Chrome OS 102, let's see the new features. Chrome OS 102, extracting zip files, launcher search results, a new cursive app, customizable magnification, camera settings, and cable notification. Let's find out about these new features. Okay, here we are on my Chromebook. We're going to go to Google Photos in the cloud and download some pictures directly onto my Chromebook. So let's come up and go to Google Photos. This will be the cloud-based version. So these pictures are in the cloud. So we're going to come over to the great dinner I cooked for Father's Day. These are my pictures of the Father's Day dinner I just did. So let's select these pictures. You'll see there's 6 pictures. So let's select them, and we'll do this by just clicking each picture, and we'll select them all. Now remember, these pictures in the cloud, they're not on my Chromebook. I want them on my Chromebook. So what we're going to do, and now we've chosen all these pictures, these are big files, so they're going to be zipped into a zip file. We're going to come up now into the 3-dot menu on the top right. We're going to click this, and we're going to say download. And I want you to watch to the bottom left as you see the file being zipped. And these are now being zipped and downloading onto our Chromebook. Here they are. They're now in our in the downloads directory. It is a file called photos.001zip. But I'm going to change the name of this, and we're going to call this Father's Day .zip. Okay, so now we've changed the name, and we're going to call it Father's Day.zip, and I'm going to come over here and we're going to save this. Now, of course, on the right hand side you'll see that the download is completed. We're calling this Father's Day zip, but these are zipped. This is a zip file. We'll say show in folder. This is going to bring up the files menu, and you'll see here we have a folder called Father's Day.zip. Now, these are zipped files. Of course, you have to unzip them and save them. Watch how easy this is. Right click, extract all. You'll see now there's a new feature called extract all right here. So we're going to click this, and we're going to extract all these from the zip file. And all you have to do is click that, and let's see what happens now. Let's come up to the Father's Day folder. As we move up to the top here, you'll see it says Father's Day. This is a folder. The folder's in downloads, and we can certainly move that to whatever folder we want. But when we click this, here are my 6 pictures. They're completely extracted. They are now individual pictures, and these are on my Chromebooks. That is how easy it is to unzip a file now on your Chromebook in Chrome OS 102. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how to use your launcher button or the everything key for looking at your search history in Google Chrome. So let's look at Chrome. We have this open now, and I'm going to do a search. We're actually going to search learning Chromebooks to see if we're very famous. So let's bring it up here, and we're going to do a search, learning Chromebooks. And here's what the search reveals. Yes, we're not very famous, Hewie, because we haven't seen, we're not in the top 10 or 15 here. But let's come down now to the launcher or everything button. We're going to click this, and we're going to be able to see our search history. So when we click this, we're going to come over to search history, and here we can see all the search history that I've done today in the right here as we come down the list. This is the search history from Google Chrome. If you have a Chromebook with a touch screen, you should be able to use a stylus. There are many third-party styluses that are available, and this allows you to do cursive writing. There are many advantages with this, and there are a number of apps that will allow you to do this. Google has recently released a new cursive app with Chrome 102. I don't have this with my Chromebook. It is not available for everybody, and you have to have the hardware requirements to do this, but it allows you But this is a free app that you can download and use to do cursive writing on your Chromebook. All right, let's look at the magnification. We're going to come down to the bottom right-hand corner into our start menu, click this, and we're going to come up to the top. And this is the accessibility menu, which you don't actually have to access through settings. This is the settings menu here. We're going to click accessibility. We're going to come down and we're going to look at the docked magnifier. Let's look at a new feature for Chrome OS 102. Let's click the docked magnifier, and this is going to bring up the magnification is in the top screen, and the regular magnification is in the bottom. So we can actually, there's a slider now, and what we can do is we can actually slide the black line downwards, and we'll see, or we can move it up or down depending how much of the screen you want magnified. All right, they've cleaned up the menu system of the camera app. Let's come down and show you the camera app, which is on the shelf of my Chromebook. We'll click the camera app and we're going to open this. Hey, there's me. Wave, Ron. There you go. Hi, everyone. And let's look over on the left-hand side, and you can see here we have the timer. This time's, we'll show you how to adjust that in a minute. This is the grid. You can set a grid up, and you can, as I open this up, you'll see a grid of 9s there. We can change that. And here we have, of course, the mirroring. We can switch me left or right. There we go. Yeah. And let's go up to the settings at the top. Oh, we have video, photo, square. We can change the dimensions of the screen. And of course, we can scan the screen, which we showed you before. Let's come up to settings. And we're going to come over to grid type. Again, we can choose different grid types. If you're a photographer, you probably have your own reasons for choosing these. Timer duration, we have on this computer, we have 3 choices, 3 seconds or 10 seconds. And on the camera resolution, these are mostly front mounted cameras on your Chromebooks, and you can choose on video and photo and change the resolution. This will depend on the camera that you have on your Chromebook, what resolution you can use. So you can change the a photo or video resolution for the front mounted camera on your Chromebook. When you plug a USB Type-C cable into your Chromebook, you will now get a notification of how it's going to behave. Let's have a look at when I plug my Type-C computer in from my PC. It says it's a low power connection and your Chromebook may not charge while it is turned on. So it's giving you some information. Here's another piece of information you may get. Cable may not support displays. Your USB-C cable may not connect to displays properly. So you're going to get some information now when you connect Type-C cables to your Chromebook, and hopefully this will help with how you're going to choose the cables and use them wisely. All right, those are the changes that you'll see that Chrome OS 102 has this month, and that's a bit different than the 101. All right, Hewie, then I guess you'd be up next.
Yep, got one more for you. Here. Chromebook keyboard shortcuts. I'm Hewie Poplock. Learning keyboard shortcuts is not easy. If you do them a few at a time, it makes it much easier to learn and retain, but you do have to continue to use them or you will forget. Today we're going to learn some text editing shortcuts. Some you may know and one or two may be something new for you. In this first example, we're going to talk about selecting all, then copying, pasting, and then pasting as plain text. In this first example, we've opened up our Chrome browser and we're looking at a website and some information that we wish to copy and paste. First, we highlight the information that we want, then using the keystrokes Control and C to copy that information. Next, we're going to open up Google Docs. First, we hit the Everything button, we find Google Docs, and we open it. Now what I'm going to show you is a little tip. By dragging the tab with Google Docs on it and moving it away from my Google Chrome, you can see that it gives me a second window, and then I resize them. Next, I create a blank Google Doc. Then I do a Control V and paste what I had copied into the Google Docs, and it includes all of the formatting, and it takes a bit of time, but then all of the graphics also are pasted. In our Google document, we now hit Control A to highlight all, and then hit the backspace button. That clears our document. Now hitting Control, Alt, and V, we get the document with no formatting and all of the graphics are missing, which is what we want. It has stripped the bold, the links, the colors, and the graphics. Chromebooks have built-in keyboard shortcut help just by clicking Control, Alt, and the /. That brings up a list of keyboard shortcuts. The shortcuts are organized by topics, popular shortcuts, then tabs and windows, and page and web browser, system and display settings, text editing, and accessibility. You can also search for whatever topic that you would like to find the shortcut for. Here are the text editing shortcuts, some of the ones that I just showed you. Here's a quick review. Chromebook keyboard overlay hints. How to paste text only on a Chromebook. Copy and paste on a Chromebook. Where is the delete key on a Chromebook? How to undo on a Chromebook. Take a screenshot of the entire Chromebook screen, and take a screenshot of part of the Chromebook screen. I'm Hewie Poplock, Chromebook keyboard shortcuts. You have to remember them and you have to use them to be able to make it second nature. And I found that by using just a couple at a time is a easier way. Don't just say, I want to learn a whole bunch of them, because you'll get confused and you won't use them.
Do we have any questions on anything we've covered so far? Are there any comments? If you do, just unmute. And George, go ahead.
I'm looking for a shortcut. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm looking for a shortcut that will type in my email address. I'm tired of typing it in. And, you know, it's a very commonly used phrase. And I looked through the Chromebook and I don't see a way of creating a shortcut with that contains my own created text string.
Yeah, you wouldn't, it wouldn't be a shortcut, because what you really want is sort of a macro that's automatically just going to dump it in when you type when you hit the key command.
Do they have macros?
No, not really a macro, but there's got to be, that's a common question you'd want the answer to. And the issue is, I don't do that, but the autofill feature in Chrome, in the Chrome operating system, do you have autofill turned on? Because it should autofill. It should autofill in a in
a form, but it has to recognize the form.
Right.
Sometimes it's not a place where it would recognize the form. I just want to be able to go clunk,
I don't have, Huey, do you have any? I don't.
No, I'm just trying to think. You might have to have a small document with it and just do a copy and paste. That's the only way.
That's what I came down to. But that's okay. Thanks.
It's a great idea for an app. I guess maybe we should do a search on that and figure out. I mean, it's a good idea to make some money if someone could write an app for that. It'd be a simple app, right?
I have an external keyboard that has the ability to do 2, 4, 6, 8 macros, and I have those set up. I hit one of those macro keys that I programmed, and it automatically does what that key was programmed for. But that's a keyboard itself that has that feature.
Oh, that's cool. That wasn't the keyboard you talked me into buying, was it?
No, this is the Oakley.
The later one. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
My keyboard has that too, but it's not on my Chromebook.
Well, you have to connect it to the USB port.
Yeah, but that's my Windows keyboard.
I know.
But that's a good idea. I hadn't thought about that, though. That's a good idea.
I'm just throwing it out there. That's what I do on the Windows computer. I have shortcuts.
George, what you might do is turn off your PC, unplug it, plug it into your Chromebook, and see if it works. If it does, just buy another keyboard.
Go ahead, Anita.
I have 2 questions. The guest takes driver storage in your Google while it's on your computer.
I say that again.
The guest user takes up storage space in Google Drive.
But when you end the guest, it goes away.
Okay. How long can a guest remain in your computer?
As long as it's on, that guest can be on.
So I turn it off and turn it on the next day. The guest is gone.
Away, yeah. If you shut it off, it goes away. Yes.
So it's just while the computer's on. Okay. Thanks.
I have a question. Pesky grandkids, can't leave.
I have a question on my Chromebook. I can't see raise hand on my screen here. I don't know where it is on my Chromebook. I know where it is on anything else. But anyway, I'm already on 1.03. OS 1.03 on this Chromebook.
Are you using, Marie? The important part is, and we talked about this a bit earlier, is make sure you're using the PWA.
Oh, okay.
You're probably not using the right Zoom app, and we talked about this a little bit in the pre-show. Is that it is so important, because in August, then complete support for the app will be going away.
I saw that message. I did get that message when I started it.
That's right. And it's confusing, and it's really confusing. So it's all as I can say is that please make sure you delete all the you really need to delete all the old Zoom apps on your Chromebook. Get rid of them, just uninstall them, and then install the PWA and make sure that it's installed correctly, and you'll be fine. And you can find the PWA in the Play Store, the Android Play Store. In fact, on your Chromebook, if you go to the Play Store and you type in Zoom you will only see the old app isn't there. You'll just see it says Zoom PWA. Just click that and install it. You'll be fine.
In
Okay.
the PWA version on my Chromebook, if I click the three dots for more, there is one of the choices is reactions. And when you click that, you will see the lower the hand and wave and a couple other things.
Yeah, I don't have those three dots on this version, so I'll do that. Try and figure out how to.
I just posted a link to a tutorial that I had put together for installing the PWA on your Chromebook.
And that shows how you remove the one that's
right. That is
there.
how you install. That is how you install the Zoom PWA on your Chromebook.
And remove the old version.
You just get rid of the old version.
Okay. And as I mentioned, I see my Chromebook is already on OS 103.
Stu,
103?
Yeah, mine's 103 something.
Really? You got 103 already? Huh. All right. Well,
Yeah,
good for you, Murray.
I don't, but I didn't check it today. Stu, make sure you get that link that Bob posted. You might want to show that to your group.
Will do.
All right. All right.
Yeah, mine is OS 103.0.5060.37.
Well, as you know, the release of the OS for your Chromebook is the staged release out over time. I would imagine probably the newer the Chromebook is, probably the earlier you get it. I, of course, have a Pixelbook. I checked this morning and I still was on 102. So, well, hopefully we'll see what happens. See, I've already got my video made for next month, right? All right. So, because there are smaller incremental changes that are occurring. And so I wanted to, are you sharing something now, Hewie?
Yeah, it may go away, but what I want to do is I want to show, I come here, I click settings, and then come down here to about Chrome OS. Right now I'm on 102, and I click check for updates. And it says it's up to date. So 103 is not available to me.
He's probably on a beta version, as I am. Because there are beta versions available.
Yes, I am on the beta version.
Correct.
I am on the beta version.
Correct. So for those not on a beta version, 103 is not yet available.
That's correct. But that's how you can check what I just showed you.
Right. And if you have 103, you just saw how to unzip a file. They've expanded that for more than just zip files. RAR and many of the other popular formats, it's now capable of uncompressing.
And it works really well because it unzips it right into and creates a directory, creates a folder. It's just so cool. You know, it's such a pain in Windows. You know, there's all sorts of different. It just click, boom, and it creates the folder and it's right there for you with all unzipped. So it works well. They've done a good job on that. That really will work well for people. Any other questions? We wanted to talk to you about a few things. So if there are no questions, Hewie, shall we move into the?
I have a question.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Richard.
When I tried to go into my Chromebook to go into this today, it just kept saying connection, and it never did. So I used my laptop, my normal one, and it goes right in. So I don't know why it wouldn't connect on my laptop. I know it's a slower one, but
When that happens, the best thing to do. When that happens, the best thing to do is stop it, go back out, and then come back in and try to connect again. That happens on my PC. It happens on other people's PCs as well. Sometimes you just don't get the right connection, and it just doesn't happen.
yeah, PC was fine. It's a Chromebook.
You may also have to totally turn off your Chromebook, turn it back on.
Okay.
To clear some of the garbage that builds up in the background. Because normally we don't turn off the Chromebook, we just close the cover, and that's not turning it off.
Is that a good idea to do that rather than
On a
turn it
regular
off?
basis, yes.
Yeah, it
And
also switches. It's when you turn, Richard, when you turn your Chromebook off and power it off, it switches the version. So the updates and everything, there's two versions of your Chrome OS on your Chromebook. Everyone has two. There's a primary and a secondary copy.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
secondary copy that always gets updated. So the way you switch them is you turn your machine off and on, and it switches it, and you don't even know it happens, but you have to turn it on and off to do that. So like Bob says, it's a good idea with Chromebooks for that reason, just to turn them off.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. Okay, so Hugh and I had some questions that we wanted to ask everyone, and this is pertains to learning Chromebooks. Now, we've been doing, Huey, 2 years, 2 years.
close to it, yeah.
We've been doing learning Chromebooks for 2 years, and we have done the monthly sessions, and we have had a great response, right? So we've done well with that, and we've enjoyed doing it. The problem that we're having right now is because there are so little change between each month's version, there's not a lot new that comes up each month. And we also have taught everybody everything that we can possibly. We have 24 one-hour shows that you can watch. You can watch and watch learning Chromebooks. So, and plus the same, it's mostly that we've got about 38 people now. Most of you are all people that started with this 2 years ago. So when Hewie and I sit down and plan and want to plan next month's show, we're running out of ideas. Like we really pulling Hewie. Well, I can't. Hewie,
You're
but
locking up. We're not hearing the last couple of sentences we didn't hear.
it'll come back in a minute. There we go. It was about your hair.
What about my hair?
You were pulling it out when we were trying to figure out what to talk
Oh,
about.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Coming up with ideas of what to show and do for these shows, and then put it together. That first bit I did on how to add another user, I had to take camera shots, and I had to actually create the account, take pictures, and then go back in. And it was several hours worth of work, because I didn't get the pictures I wanted. When I started to explain it, well, wait a minute, I didn't get a good enough shot of that. So I had to go back and reinstall that user again so I could get that shot. And then put it all together and then edit it for 5 minutes. It was many hours. And doing these to try to fill the time is a lot of work. And we aren't sure whether, do we have enough material to show you? If you're brand new to a Chromebook, you want some of the basics. And some of you who've been on here since we started this, you don't need the basics. It's not bad for a reminder, but you really don't need them. Where do we go? And we're just trying to reach out to you to find out what you think and what ideas you have.
So we have a couple of choices, and we're not sure which way to go. One of the options would be to continue it as a monthly event and do a very short 10-minute segment on maybe new changes or anything new that's happened, and leave it as a question and answer for the rest of the time. Now, Chris Gould does this on very effectively on her Google Photos session she does. And I talked to her about it, and so, I mean, it would be up to you. I mean, we would be here once a month. We would still do it exactly the same time. Nothing would really change. But what we would do is we would sort of focus on maybe a very short segment at the very beginning. And if you show up and you have problems and you want us to help you with the problems, then you can do it, and we'll be there, and we can do whatever it is for that period of time. The second option is to do it every 3 months, is not to do it on a monthly basis, but to have content for you, a whole show, but maybe do that every 3 months. And then we would at least, there'd be enough new stuff that we would be able to create something for a month, for an hour that we can show you. And so we're not quite sure what the best approach is and what everybody is thinking about. And so that we were wondering if anyone had any comments or any suggestions. And
There's one
and
thing
we
in
are
the-
all ears.
Ron, there's one thing in the chat box to maybe start this from Linda Hoffman. Says, I've been using a Chromebook for over 3 years, and I cannot believe how much usable and new to me information I get every time I attend one of your presentations.
Right.
Very
Dorothy, comments?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with reviewing some of the things you've done in the last 2 years, because I know not all of us will remember everything that you did, even though the videos are there. I mean, you going over the keystrokes today, I'm sitting there with my laptop on my lap going through them, and it's like, you know, I still need to learn them.
Well, that's a thought, and we thought about reusing some of the material. I mean, we have a lot of material that we can reuse. I do actually put some of that material into our premiere service on our Monday show. You probably
Okay.
notice you're on our Monday show all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
You know, the premiere service. In fact, I did a Chromebook session last. One of the 3 that I chose was a Chromebook session. So I do that on the Monday show.
Yeah.
All right, George, any comments?
I use the Chromebook to do some more advanced stuff, and I don't know why we can't have a little section that does more advanced stuff. Like I use the SSH function in Chrome, and I would like to, in the Chrome browser, they've added that so that now you can SSH using the Chrome browser. And you know, learning about private and public keys is still a bit of a mystery. This isn't everybody's area, you know, but you could spend, and maybe not every month, but you know, occasionally do some more advanced stuff. You know, using your Chromebook to look at other computers. Or I don't know if you've done one on remote access. You know, there's tons of stuff there.
Right.
And also, what do you do with an old Chromebook? We at our computer club, Dorothy and I turned them on the other day. My goodness, they've all expired.
Not quite all.
Well, some of them. So what are we going to do with those old machines? And
Right.
I never heard what happened with the freeware version. Like
Chrome
it seems
OS
to,
Flex, right.
yeah, it seems to have petered out a bit. I don't know.
No, they have, I'm using it on one of my computers. Yeah, I had mentioned that in the pre-show. And I have found that even though I don't and can't use the Android apps, I found quite a bit of use for it, and it seems to work. And I do have a Chromebook that expired this month, and I'm going to put the Chrome OS X on it, and I'll be able to report that if we do a show next month. And I think we probably should at least next month. I'll report on that, and I'll probably use it.
So I would be interested in, I don't know, think about the advanced stuff. There's, you know, you can write your own web apps. There's lots of tools out there. I know that's not beginner stuff, but if you're looking for material, try going the other end of the spectrum.
Well,
a little advanced.
I know I'm an average user. I'm not an advanced user, and I wouldn't be able to put one of those together. I don't even know what SSH is, to be honest with you. And I don't know about Ron, if he's advanced on any of that kind of thing either. So we'd have to get some input.
Yeah,
from
you got to
other
get some
people
help.
to do it.
Yeah.
Stu, do you have any comments? We talked about that earlier. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I do. I think Hewie mentioned that he's got a Chromebook that's going to be out of date soon, and he's going to try to put the Chrome Flex on it. I think the biggest challenge Hewie's going to meet is how to boot the Chromebook from Flex, and well, he can boot the Chromebook with Flex, but how to get it so it will install on its hard drive so it starts up. Okay, but once he gets beyond that, hey, if Flex works, Flex could be a workaround for when end of life comes we could use it. And that would be awfully nice because we have people in my group that have come to end of life also, George. And, you know, and they want to keep using their Chromebook, but it says it's out of date, you know, and it won't receive any updates. The only problem with Flex is you get no Android apps. So you're going to have to use it for basics, you know, Google Drive. Those. Right. Yep.
Stu, do you have any thoughts on whether we should do it every 3 months or continue monthly and do some Q&A? Do you have any? Do you have a preference?
Sounds like people want to have it go on every month. You know, and hey, some months, you know, it's just like I do one every month too. And you know, some days people listen to you and some days they're someplace else while they're viewing the screen, you know, and some days they just don't get it. And then another time they will, and they'll say, well, why didn't you say this before? Well, I said it before. I've got the videos to prove it, you know, but hey, it's funny. I don't know if we did it every 3 months. To me, it would be too much to try to put in an hour. I think it would be hard for you guys because you'd be dealing with all new stuff and not so much about what people are requesting online.
George, go ahead.
Maybe start a discussion on getting some other people to help do the presentations.
Well, that's for sure. I mean, we're open to that for sure. I mean, that's
many of these people on the screen, I expect, are part of user groups around and have been called on and maybe do presentations to their user groups. We've done lots of presentations to our user group. We've also advertised Tech for Seniors. You've noticed there's a lot of Victoria attendees, and that's because our club has advertised Tech for Seniors right from almost from the beginning. But it is time for us to do some presentations to learning Chromebooks, for instance.
Okay, good thought. Dorothy, do you have any questions?
I was just going to suggest perhaps you might want to take a summer break like we do in Victoria. The teachers decide that we want to take a summer break from doing teaching and then go at it again in September.
I think, yeah, and then it's not that we're getting burned out. It's just the problem is that we're running out of, we don't know, it is the same, you know, 40 people that are here today, basically we started out with, and, you know, after, you know, 2 years of, you know, where are we? And, you know, are we going to do basic stuff again? Or are we, is it's hard, like we don't know where to go. You know, what do we need to create the presentations on for the, you know, for our next group, you know, like I don't know what the answer to that is.
Well, I think it's a good indication that at least you have more than 30 people as opposed to us only having 3 or 4.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. But I guess the question is, what should we be talking about? And for Hewie and I to sit there and say, what are we going to talk about next month? And like I said, well, I don't know. And Hewie says, I don't know. You know, like, I don't know what we, you know, we've talked about all the basics and we've gone, you know, and we can certainly do each version of Chrome, but between the OS 102 and 103, there may be nothing to talk about. There may be only 1 or 2 things to talk about. And how do you, so what do we fill the rest of the hour with? Now we can do it with Q&A if everyone comes and says, I got problems and can you help me with this? And that's for sure something that we can do, and it's easy for us to do that, right? And we can certainly continue on a monthly basis. But to create a 1-hour show with new material each month for Chrome, it's yeah, we don't know what to do.
Yeah, I hear you.
Mm-hmm. That's the problem. That's the problem. Hewie, do you have any thoughts on that? Oh, sorry, Irving, go ahead.
You're muted.
Yeah. I was wondering if you might use some of the format from Tech for Senior Live, where you present news. You know, what's new, what's going on, and incorporate some of that format into your presentation.
You mean news about Chromebooks?
The other thing, pardon?
News about Chromebooks? Or
Yes.
just general
Yeah.
news?
Yes.
Oh, news about Chromebooks. Tech news
Yeah.
about. Well, that's a good idea. I guess if we, actually, that's a pretty good idea. That would be easy to do, eh, Hewie?
And there's not a lot of news about Chromebooks, though. Some months there are.
Yeah.
Some days there are, but for
Yeah.
the most part, they just
Well, have a look at that, Irving. That we could do a news search on that and see what the articles are. That's actually a very good idea.
There's a blog or a group of articles about Chromebook that's on that is published almost daily. Somebody puts something in there, and I found a lot of neat things pulled out of it. And there's a Reddit group that has some news in it also.
All right. Well, that's a really good idea. Yeah, that's a great. We can certainly look at that. Yeah, that'd be an easy thing to do. Sure. Yeah, that's a good suggestion.
Dave says on the chat box, you have a list of videos that you've done already, so I can review them when needed. Ron?
Yeah, we do. We do have a list. We have a playlist. It's called a playlist, and they're all there. So I can certainly, we can certainly go over that. Maybe that's another thing we can do is review how to find some of the material that we've done in Learning Chromebooks. It's all there. It's indexed.
And take some of the presentations we've done in the past and use them and do some Q&A afterwards about that information.
Yeah.
So we've done the work already, so why not use it? And if something's changed, talk about the changes.
Okay, those are good ideas. Really good ideas. Great. Any more great ideas? Come on, you guys. You got some good ideas here. Tell us how to make this work. And this is good.
What do you want to learn about?
What do you want to talk about?
Don't just say Chromebooks, but how to use something, how to do something.
I have issues with trying to make folders and like, for example, if I take a picture with my Chromebook, I want to save it to my SD card, but I don't know how to make it automatically do that.
Right.
Number one, and I don't know really how to make folders and put them in different places. I do on my laptop, but not on the Chromebook. It's like everything's in like 3 folders, I think, and you have to go from there. But I went through I think there's 7 of those videos that Hewie did, and I didn't see that in any of them. At least I don't remember it, if it was there.
I did cover in one of them, I think I did talk about files and folders, but I may not have gone into what you're looking for. So I have to go back and research that myself.
Okay. Dorothy, go ahead.
Have you covered the usefulness of if you have the Netflix and the Prime Amazon apps installed on your Chromebook, about how you can download them to the Chromebook on your SD card and then play them offline and attach?
I did that. That's what I did last month.
Oh, you did? Okay, I wasn't there.
Yeah, I did a whole show. I did my whole 20-minute show on having fun with your Chromebook, and I did all those.
Oh, okay.
I knew you were going to ask for that, so I already did it.
Oh, okay.
Bob, go ahead.
Thank you. So I have my brand new Chromebook. I finally got on the Chromebook, and I'm still on my computer, which I'm talking to. A question I would pose is, do you have any feel for how many of the 40-some people that are here today are, new or in their first 6 months, and how many of them are many years of experience? If you've got a lot of new people, then maybe it's worthwhile to have some time to go over some of the things like you did earlier today, which I have to go back and watch because I was trying to get my Chromebook to work for me. I finally got on and I got my name right, but I have to go back and do the note that you checked in there to see. I don't know which version of Zoom I'm running on this machine at the moment. So anyway, that would be my thought. And we know that the version of the Chrome software changes every month. So it might be worthwhile to have a little corner in there where you take 5 minutes or whatever is appropriate to highlight the big changes that came on.
So that's what
Then
Ron,
you can do special features or talk about things, and doing the news is a good idea.
yeah,
That's my
Ron,
2 cents.
Ron stole that from me, so I don't get to do it. He does it every month. But sometimes, like, it's a slightly longer than a month, or the months kind of cross over. So this month he did 102, 103 will be out in the next couple of days. So for next month, we'll be able to do 103. But sometimes the changes and the additions and so on for the upgrade, there's not a lot to talk about. And sometimes he has to struggle in order to get that.
You know, it's in the old days, well, the old days, but you know, the changes in version of Chrome OS was every 3 or 4 months. So it you know, there was always a lot of new features that you could show. But a lot of the times the new features are all developmental in the background and not applicable to what we're talking about. So, but sometimes there are and sometimes there aren't. So we can certainly look at that. But Bob, I agree. Yeah, I think those are all good comments. Well, I think that I think we will, Hewie, I think we'll go with next next month. We'll do it, and we'll try a little bit different format, see how everybody feels about it. And maybe you can let us know what you think, but maybe we'll try a bit of a hybrid. We'll do a bit of something and then some news and then some Q&A. So try and bring some questions if you do have questions.
We'll have to
Bob,
go back into some of our older recordings and get some of the
sure.
features from that. In the chat box, there's a few things here I do want to read. Mead suggests give everybody 1 minute and see what happens, or what direction the interest goes. Ed Harrell says, I can't get to talk. How do you use the hands up? If you've got the PWS version, there's 3 little dots, and that's more. And if you click that, you'll see something that says reactions. And there is where you would find either the hands up or the clapping and so on. Joan,
Provided the PWA is installed.
PWA, did I say PWS? Yeah. I think that's a good selection.
Ivana, go ahead.
I just found it.
Go ahead.
I suggest take 3 months off. Everybody needs a break.
Well, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's summertime. Most people are having miserable weather, either too hot or too cold. There's nothing wrong with taking the summer off.
Oh, well, we understand that. But Hugh and I thrive on this. So it's our energy. So we don't need a rest. We just need some ideas. So, and one of the things that I don't want to do is I don't want to go around and talk. I want it to be meaningful for people to come. I want you to be able to feel that you've gone away, you've learned something, and it was of value. You've actually done something for the hour. If we go around and we just talk, one of the big problems I have with the Q&A part of it often is not applicable to everybody. I don't know if you've ever been to shows where you sit around and people are talking on Q&A stuff, and none of it applies to you because you either know it all or you're not having problems with that. And so the whole show is so it's got to be something that it's a win-win. Everybody gets something out of the show, you know. So I'm trying to so we want to make sure this is worthwhile. And that's another reason why we're trying to poll you and try and get some ideas, right? I don't want it to be just a social chit chat and talking about, like we've sort of done for the last 20 minutes. The last 20 minutes is sort of an information finding thing for Hewie and I, but probably not a lot of interest for you. In other words, I want you to learn. I want you to come and say, gee, that was a good hour we just spent. I learned a whole bunch of stuff. That was great. And that's what I want. And Hewie and I want that. So I guess that's what we're trying to come around with, eh, Hewie?
Yeah, going back to the chat box, Joan Greek said, I've had a Chromebook for only 4 months. So obviously some of the things we did a year and a half ago, she wouldn't be familiar with. And then Ed Harrell says, I like every month. Dave Smolinski says, you guys are good, but sometimes you learn when you have 2 different instructors. Could you refer to any YouTubers that you like? Ed Harrell says, no breaks for me. Dave says, if you need a break, take one. I've done that. It seems most of your people are Windows people. I only use Chromebooks, so this is great.
Okay. Bob, question?
No, just another comment. On your Monday shows, you started doing, do you call it premiere at the end of the show? I know it takes a lot of work to do that, but if you have some of the old shows from Chromebook, maybe you can put some together, and that could be the show you do when you take the month off. I don't know.
Possibility. Yep. Good. All right. Well, thanks everyone. That's with Phil. That's it. An hour. Thank you for coming. We'll have the video out for you today or tomorrow, and we will indeed have a July the fourth Thursday in July. We'll have a show for you, and we'll sort of have a little bit different format and see how it all works out.
That'll be July 28th.
July 28th. There you go. All right. Goodbye. See everyone soon.
See everybody.
Good show.
Bye bye
Thanks,
now.
guys.